it's the me again, Penguin21, and today, well, looks like it's time to talk about Palworld again. So Palworld's been basically taking over the internet for the past, week. So, yeah, obviously I had to make a second video on this, and this one has been severely cut down and kind of neutered from the video that I wanted to make. But at the same time, I did it for the entertainment value and for the other stuff as well, because there was a lot of tweets, and quite frankly, most of them were just clowning on other people, and quite frankly, I wanted to get down to the actual salt portion of some of these tweets. So I had to cut out a lot, but those were basically just unnecessarily and not funny. So, congratulations to me for, escalating or evaluating content a bit better, I guess. Yeah. Overall, I think that the best parts of these will be boiled down to some of the memes, some of the salts, and then some of the other stuff to be talking about, at least for the most part. I have a couple of notes here as well that I'm going to go through as well, so we're going to talk about a bunch of that. But overall, before we get into the video proper, I got to, of course, do the shilling. Obviously, yes, Visions Beyond was released a little bit. It was released Wednesday. If you want to go and do that, the new album is out on both Bandcamp, as well as you can listen to the whole thing for free on the YouTube if you really want to. Links to everything down in the description, as always. Number two is I'm looking to hit 1K by the end of the year. Again, like I keep saying, please like, comment, please subscribe to help me reach that goal. I think we can do it. Hopefully, I'll keep saying it until we hit that 1K thing, and maybe I'll do something special for it. Who knows? Next up, of course, I do sound a little bit off because I have been sick for the past couple of days, but I'm just now getting over it. Again, I usually record these things a few days or weeks in advance or something like that, but if I sound a little bit off, that's because I was a little bit not feeling well. In any case, let's get started. So, of course, we're going to start off with this Dano Omen tweet, I guess, where this one actually is kind of a good overall theme about how Palworld and Hogwarts Legacy kind of have a little bit of an interesting start to their careers in the fact that they are both widely successful games that have been rife with a bunch of different controversies. Now, obviously, yes, Hogwarts Legacy had different controversies than Palworld because, well, Hogwarts Legacy has Hogwarts in the name and, has a lot of Harry Potter stuff to it, and that has a whole big political drive behind it. So I at least can understand where people are coming from when they say that Hogwarts Legacy, you shouldn't support that game. I can at least understand it. Do I agree with it? But with Palworld, I don't see why. That's, I think, the big difference here. With Hogwarts Legacy, I can see the case. I wouldn't support the game personally, just because, one, it doesn't seem to interest me, and two, I haven't liked Harry Potter for a while now, so it's just not for me. But Palworld is not only for me, but it's for a lot of people and has broken, all the records. So, yeah. And also, one other thing here to kind of come on down to here, we have a command line Volpine, I guess, I forget who that specifically is, with a, why so many of you are like this today, it's wild, Palworld v Pokemon. This was taken at least a week ago, so yeah. But this can be boiled down to the entirety of the Nintendo side, where it's just leave my multi-billion-dollar company alone, with, them protecting all of Nintendo's stuff, even though Nintendo itself hasn't seemed to do anything, I guess. So, yeah. Again, that was mostly with the Harmon Smith video there, and I talked about a lot of the Harmon stuff, and that mostly applies to most of the Nintendo guys, other than the ones out of these tweets. I saw this one from Visual Fidelity, getting clowned on a lot. One here being that the main thing here that is being retweeted is, back in the 90s, I would have never guessed a top-selling game in 2024 would look this bad. PlayStation fans are not missing out. Hashtag Palworld. With, I think this is a really good joke here with, man, I don't care for the game, but some of you idiots need to realize people care more about gameplay than pretty graphics. It's yeah, absolutely. I mean, I care about the game because I played it and I've already sunk 20 hours into it, and I'm actually enjoying my time with it, even though it does get infuriating with some of the glitches, at least at the time. Most of the time, it's, really fun. I qualify this more as, a podcast game. Again, you can just kind of, put on a podcast and get lost in as well. Also, so I just think that it's really fun. And one other funny thing that I brought up in the last video, I bought this one as a joke. I bought it purely just to spite the Nintendo fan guys, to make them angry. But then I just ended up liking the game. Straight up. just liking the game. Weird. Next up, of course, we have Gara here claiming on the clowning on visual fidelity as well. Hi, Gara. I'd love to play Palworld or stream or something. I love your content. Anyway, looks like not only Nintendo fanboys want this, but so does the PlayStation fanboys. And then that brings up another interesting thing. This one is more talking about the Indiana Jones stuff, where it's a tough shit the entitled fucks with a whole, I don't want to play you on PC, I want to play you on PlayStation. And some people are being like, oh, well, no one's caring about this. But clearly, not only do people care about the Indiana Jones and stuff here, but this is more talking about a different quote from a completely different issue on Indiana Jones. So, yeah, I won't talk about that here. It's not important. What is important is that this quote can apply to Palworld as well as Indiana Jones in this context. Why? Well, I have the receipts for this. So, the Black Viking with, can y'all please add the PlayStation port to the roadmap? We're dying over here with the whole roadmap for Palworld that was released recently. And yeah, oh, but that's just one example. Well, what about German standards with a, would you play Palworld on PS5? I mean, kind of seems like a little bit of a port beggy situation there. Next up, of course, we got Nicola, because of course we have Nicola, who is retweeting the 2 million PAL tamers within 24 hours, which, by the way, that's a fucking huge-ass accomplishment. Holy shit. Where it says, goofy Fortnite-looking shit with Pokemon and gamers lose their shit. Gee, I wonder why. And this is more of a recent numbers with them hitting over 1.8 million ones of this. Nicola also tweeted out, like, them losing their shit over, did as well, but I deleted it and I can't find it, so I'm sorry. But, yeah, but just so you know, people lose their shit. It's like, oh yeah, but it's also broken all the records and made all the money. And in case you didn't think so, this is from even more recently where they've had over 7 million copies in 5 days. And this number also apparently got clowned on because this was supposedly just for PC. Like, these numbers are just for PC. Just 7 million on PC, which I guess makes some semblance of sense, but at the same time doesn't. Because 7 million on PC in total is interesting. But, I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's $30 and, people want that. But then I saw this comment underneath it, and oh no. Harmon has a Twitter. I'm not talking about this. You can't make me. But I am going to make fun of the fact that he says he is an author, a gamer, and a free thinker. Let that sink in. And we move on. Next up, of course, we have here Del Walker with a, oh, it's all model rips. Okay, I'm satisfied now. Cheers. With a deleted the original tweet because he didn't have any proof. But it seems that this article that he then lists off, which I'm not going to list off here because I don't want to give them any more attention. And then there's a ton of 3D models with the same 3D silhouette as a release games seems damning. Now, to those of you who may or may not know who this person is, Del Walker is a person who has worked on, I believe, The Last of Us 2 and works at Naughty Dog. Gee, it's so weird how some of the biggest games in the last, 3-4-ish years have gotten so much hate from developers of other games. You've had Larian Studios come under fire for doing this sort of thing, but better, doing their thing, and then devs coming out saying, oh, this is a bullshit, this is bad. You have Elden Ring that did the exact same thing, taking a niche game, and then you had Ubisoft devs shitting on that. And now you have Palworld coming out and being like, hey, look, we made a cool little Pokemon parody type game. And then they're like, oh, well, looks like you just fucked over and copied everything. What the fuck? Can you not be happy for your fellow developers that they made, a successful game? Impossible challenge, 100% cannot complete this? What the fuck? I also find it interesting how this tweet is also from one of those times where the tweets, and this one kind of got lost in a shuffle, But apparently there was a big group of people that when Genshin Impact decided to, I think, come over to the Switch or was being released on like PlayStation or something, that people were actively like shitting on it because they thought that the Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild in this context actually was better, and that like this is one of the pictures from that. So interesting notion. Again, some of the biggest games just tend to get shit on by the people with the worst, like, actual arguments for it. Very weird. Very weird. So next up, of course, we have Mighty Keef, who was retweeting the fact that AI might have been a thing here. Now, I'm not going to read out this whole tweet because it's going to take me all day, but I will leave it up on screen while I basically give you the Cliff's Notes of it. And if you want to, pause the video and just make sure that you read through the whole thing so you can get the full context. First off, so this is a retweet of a Derek Brightener, who basically said that Palworld's success is proof that despite protests, most people will cave and use AI product because of some loophole. It's fun. It doesn't feel like AI, etc. Now, he is referencing, of course, the fact that there is the whole tweet that the developers of the game did, that they said that they are interested in development AI. Now, again, this is not unheard of, as I have talked about AI in games previously, mainly with the finals, which is a thing that was proven to be correct. But at the same time, one of the more interesting things here is the fact that Mighty Keith here says that anyone regarding and talking about AI is basically saying that is just the same misinformation and stuff here. And that they are not sure if the proof is there, but the proof doesn't exist enough to be substantial to bring it to any sort of, like, light or anything. They haven't said about anything of that. And one of, if not the most interesting things here, is that you have to, on Steam, say the use of AI prominently in your description of Steam's actual store. You have to do that to abide by their TOS in order to actually be sold by Steam on that. You can't lie to them and then do that, or you will be removed from that store until you either edit the store page or do something like that. And at the same time, it's just so stupid in that context to even suggest that, because they're trying to, like, get this game and, like, oh, a gotcha in this moment, like the one previously with the whole silhouette character design for, like, the model rigging and stuff. If they're based on the same animal, right, that same animal has a given silhouette, right? So obviously you're going to reference that animal in order to create the extra stuff on top of that animal, and that animal will still have the same silhouette, because if you're basing an animal on a dog, like you're basing a new animal on a dog, that dog has specific traits to it. Long ears, longer snoot, different tail styles, 4 legs, etc. They can have different body types and different body shapes and things like that, absolutely. But it still has the same general look of a fucking dog. It's very weird. Also, it did get community noted, and that there's, like, no evidence to it that they did that. There's just no... a lot of human assets made within the game referencing other stuff. So community notes on Twitter doing their job correctly. I would also like to bring this up because Mighty Keef is also one of the more interesting things here, because he's a little bit of a hypocrite now, or at least it seems that way, because Frit here decided to recreate or, like, take a screenshot of Keef basically saying that Palworld is the best PC game to drop this year, which is insane if you think about it, because it started with a Pokemon and guns and a meme, where this person then says PC and Xbox. Weird how you forgot that last part, to which Mighty Keef then responds with mental illness. I don't think I need to elaborate on that being a weird thing. We move on. Next up, of course, we have the Unleashed section, because, of course, you have to have an Unleashed section when we talk about these sorts of things, where it says, Palworld came, Palworld saw, Palworld conquered. It's amazing how an indie studio in Japan absolutely obliterated all Xbox first-party studios combined. Truly a moment of shame for Xbox and Microsoft. But at that same time, I also want to just say that in that same context, you can then just say that it also made Sony look bad. Because Sony didn't get any of the numbers that Palworld did. I mean, yeah, certainly. They might have gotten, like, a bunch of sales numbers and sales figures and stuff. But 7 million in under a week. Jesus Christ. 1.8 million concurrent players on Steam, still taking over CSGO, which has reigned supreme at number 1 for years at this point. Years. It stole the crown and made everyone else look like absolute garbage. Well, maybe not absolute garbage. Maybe that's a little bit of a hyperbole. But you get what I mean. If it makes Xbox look bad with those numbers, it then also makes PlayStation look bad by that same metric. Just saying. Next up, of course, we have Dextero here, which I don't cover Dextero because they are just like one of those things that I only use as a reference, but apparently, and allegedly, not confirming these reports, but allegedly, that they have been receiving slanderous comments and death threats against the artists and stuff. Apparently. That's coming from Dextero, from this whole tweet stuff, and from the Palworld CEO. I have no way to confirm nor deny this, but don't do this. Like, just straight up don't do this. This is the serious point of the video. Don't send this out, this stuff. It's bad. That's a bad thing. Bad, especially because it's just video games. Don't take it so seriously that you end up just basically, like, wanting to kill things over a person. It's very weird. And yeah, absolutely. Again, these are some reports, some not reports. It's very hard to determine here because they've gotten conflicting reports that, yes, some people have gotten it. No, some people have not. It's very weird, but just know, don't do this, especially in that context. And I think that we'll end it off with at least some more positive news. And that is, NYC Hates Xbox apparently got his account suspended. Now, if you don't know who NYC Hates Xbox is, now, I don't blame you, because the thing with NYC Hates Xbox is the fact that this is more of like a shell of what Japan Hates Xbox is. Some people say that like it's a whole mess of his like people, or like it's a bunch of other people and stuff like that. But here's the thing. As someone who lives in New York, as someone who likes the place that I'm from, fuck you. To the moon. And congrats on the suspension. New York doesn't need your shit, your console wars for this. We have our own problems. Shut your mouth. It's bad. Yeah. But of course, he also got his account suspended and most likely banned because he said some stuff, and to be quite honest, like, yeah, no, NYC Hates Xbox, I have nothing for that. Nothing really to add to that. In any case, I think that'll about do it. I had more tweets to talk about, but I'm already at the more point there I don't really want to continue anymore, and quite honestly, this video is going to be one of the more supplementary videos. In any case, thank you so much for watching this episode of I Rant to a Microphone about Twitter for the next 20-30 minutes. Again, Visions Beyond is out now, and you can buy it for whatever the price you want on Bandcamp. It's also available for listening to on YouTube as well. I might try to see if I can open up a Spotify to get some more stuff in there, but I don't have the ability or understanding of how to do that, so that sucks. And yeah. 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so like and subscribe, blah, 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 blah. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you so much for watching. My name is GamePing21, and a peace off.